Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Or coming to you with another episode of Company of Heroes 2 1v1. I had this game for a while, been sitting on it, and I do apologize for that. I kind of forget how I got this one. But over here in the north, playing the OKW forces, who have been getting trounced left and right by USF, it is the blue trunk forces of Nerbo, and he's bringing in a very early Volksgren. And properly enough, SOE Sturmpanther in the south is very concerned. He says, which Smurf are you? He is playing the Soviet forces. It was appropriately in red, and he has already gone and built himself that support weapon Compania. And a couple of squads of combat engineers prepped and ready as it is. He's going for a very early Maxim. Quickly looking at commanders, Sturmpanther is bringing in mechanized support, partisans, and a guard motor coordination tactics. Nerbo for his own part. Yeah, there we go. Elite Armor Doctrine, Breakthrough, and Special Operations. All company commanders that we were used to seeing before, and not that uncommon necessarily. A couple media engagements, but while the game really is getting itself up into full swing, a couple of quick announcements going on with the channel. First things first. In the next couple of weeks, I am looking to start an Europa Universalis 4 game, a massive multiplayer game. I'm going to be recording that one. I think as of right now, I already have 6 or 7 players. The idea is we're going to meet and play for an hour and a half. I'll cast, observe, kind of give you guys a lot of my own feedback on it. We're going to be posting that up starting in a couple of weeks. If anybody wants to get in on that, please email me at conorgaming@gmail.com. We're going to see this Maxim, by the way, chasing away these Volksgrens for half a second, at least until the combat engineers can successfully cap out this munitions point. And sticking that machine gun in this house right here should give good control over that munitions point, assuming, of course, that Sturmpanther doesn't get nailed by an ISG coming up from Nerbo. And unfortunately, those Volksgrens are still going to be out shooting those combat engineers because those guys aren't worth spit in most infantry engagements. Map itself, real quick, before I get into more announcements, is pretty much going 50-50 with a couple of open positions for the Germans, but not uncommon necessarily. Kind of wondering why we don't see the combat engineers hopping out of this house and taking this point right here. I think it's mostly out of concern for this fuel point and really coming under fire. From any Volkswagen that could hop into the house there. Sturmpanthers are going to come after this Maxim, but they're going to get outflanked to a certain degree by these combat engineers. Are they going to get into that territory just in time? Barely. Yes, they do. Those combat engineers are going to get forced back, and it's going to be a triple Maxim spam coming out from Sturmpanther, and a very early SWS coming out for Nerbo. So expect to see that battle group headquarters. But all right, while we're waiting in the meantime, I am also doing my best to put together a couple of videos to start breaking down some of these maps for you guys out there. I know I definitely sometimes don't always pay attention to necessarily the good and bad points of each map. You see a Sturmine coming down for Nerbo. And Sturmpanther rather, is trying to lock down these Sturmpiles. They're going to get outflanked by by Volksgrens. So look to see this machine getting pushed back super quick. No, so a couple of things happening. I'm trying to put together, like I said, some Company of Heroes 2 map analyses, or kind of build order analyses as well. As I'm sure you guys know, I have mentioned before, the kind of consistent Trip Rifleman Mortar Stuart rush that comes out from USF players. So I want to give you a short little bit. Yeah, I have to agree, that was pretty good timing on that fuel decap. Give you guys a couple of resources to kind of use with on your own as you try coming up against these builds. I won't say this is 100% the way to handle all these particular builds, but I would suggest taking a look-see. See, maybe helps you out a little bit. Sturmpanther, in the meantime, has gone and gotten himself some field medics, and his combat engineers actually have themselves a flamethrower as well, but with half health, this guy's more of a liability than an actual assistance, I would say. But it does seem like he's got enough to scare off. Oh, never mind. Nope. There's another Volksgren squad in the house, and it's going to tear those poor combat engineers to pieces. It's going to push it back. In the meantime, this Maxim's going to go and light up the Sturmpanther squad. And the super early AA half-track is going to come out for Nerbo. Meantime, Sturmpanther is gotten himself nice and blobbed, so it's going to be an issue as soon as this half-track comes out. And it's really a question of whether or not the Sturmpanther starts being a little bit more intelligently aggressive. Combat engineer squad's going to shift over here to the western side, maybe burn these Volksgrens out of this house. It's going to be very, very quick for that to happen, I imagine. The Rock 3 flamethrower does come out, and those guys pounce out of that house, afraid as all get out. For good reason, of course. And in the meantime, most of these Maxims are just rushing up the field. But the second that they see the AA half-track, and it's coming out to the field right now, there it is. The Maxims are going to be completely and totally obsolete. But here comes a Ziscon, a nice early Ziscon too, 500 to 398. Sturmpanther has gone down quite a bit in terms of tickets, and it's not surprising when you think about it. His army composition has been unfortunately very, very lackluster when considering his opponent. But that Ziscon should be enough to kind of switch things around, if only for a second or two. Would have been better as well to get himself a little bit more in the way of legitimate infantry. Conscripts or even penal battalion troops that would of course require a special, rifle compania. In the west, trying to decap that fuel point, these Volksgrens are going to find themselves under fire in more ways than one, getting burned out, and it looks like these combat engineers might be able to even get a wipe. Can they get a wipe here? I don't know. This could be close. Burn him out! Burn him out! And even though he's running so fast, guys, he's leaving fire behind him. And it's guard motor coordination tactics being called in for Sturmpanther. Not sure that's really the best option in the long run. We do see another Schumann going down up here to the north, and another one here on the central VP. Now that there's a Ziscon as well, Sturmpanther seems to be very, very concerned about how he's going to handle late game armor. He's calling in guards infantry are ready with his PTRSs. And while he should have a nice bit of firepower, immediate firepower supremacy, he's not going to get a chance to take any shots at that retreating AA half-track. It's unfortunate right there, that is. In the west, we're going to see these Volksgrens shifting out again, and nobody yet has any kind of experience vetted up at all, which is kind of surprising. See a couple squads that are pretty close. We also see that there's no upgrades really happening for a lot of troops except for those guards. They'll be just outside this firing arc in a second. Yep, there it goes. They could have gotten them. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen now. And over here in the east, in fact, we're going to see these Volksgrens getting pushed back. So Sturmpanther was against it for a bit of time. Now it looks like he has a little bit more control here. Not a ton, mind you. Not that it's going to be that easy for him. And guards for their own point now do have the PTRSs as well as the, was it the DPL machine guns? The DP. Yeah, well, DPLs, like the DP light machine guns, so DPLs will actually work too. They are gunning down a couple of Volksgrens on retreat, and for some reason the Ziscon seems to be a little confused as to what his purpose in life is. He's kind of rushing forward, rushing back, rushing forward, rushing back. He's rushing everywhere. Ba-dum-bum. In the meantime, Maxim's going to shift up here. Not going to have a whole lot of shot opportunity, unless, of course, these Volksgrens continue to oblige them by sitting out in the open. Super quick suppressed. And that'll be an issue right there. They're pinned out in the open. They need to back it up right now. This AA half-track, though, is going to slide in behind the Ziscon, and the Ziscon has not gotten a nice little bit of a line of fire on him. But with another squad of guards infantry coming in, that AA half-track really should be taking a lot more damage than it is. Not sure why this Maxim's sliding up over here as well, but he is. A little curious idea. And up in the north, we're going to see that an MG-34 being called in for the Germans is probably going to put a fair amount of firepower onto these guards. Even more so, these Sturmpios rushing in, but the Sturmpios run right into a grenade. And although a couple of guards go down with it, those Sturmpios are not in very good shape there, guys. And oh no, the Ziscon's going to walk right over mine. And what is mine is now his as well. Death and destruction is the way about it. And the Guards infantry, even though it is pushed back in some places, it is getting manhandled quite a bit. And I'm kind of shocked by that. So we do see that Sturmpio has gotten himself most of his call-ins already. He can be calling a Guards infantry, and that might be a good idea. Again, having 3 guards on the field might be a good plan. His opponent is not going to be able to afford a Sturmpanther headquarters. And considering that's not going to happen for another couple of minutes here, at least a minute, I should be thinking that these guards really should be lighting up the AA half-track by itself. But the AA half-track does back away before the Zis gun or those guards can get any kind of line of fire on it, which is very, very weird for me. Because the AA half-track really, in most cases, should not be in as good a shape as he is. He should be getting carved to pieces. And this is definitely an example of it. Again, the AA half-track's going to start mauling those guards. What's going on here? Okay, never mind. The Zis gun's got it under control. At least one more shell should be put down range. No, never mind. And in first blood, though, does in fact go to Sturmpanther. He takes, excuse me, Sturmpanther. I'm going to call him Sturmpanther the entire match. Watch. He takes out a squad of Volksgrunds, and I think those guys were upgraded as well. This Maxim in this house over here to the east is securing quite a bit of this territory for the Soviets. This Maxim over here in the center of the map, though, is going to come under fire from this MG34, and the MG34 gets much quicker suppression than his opposing support weapon here, though. So it's a bit of a concern, I would say, for Sturmpanther's Maxim. Maybe not 100%. I mean, that thing can definitely dish out damage. You can see right now, the MG34 has suppressed him, but hasn't managed to really take off any models, and that's quite a problem there for Nerbo's OKW. Now, Nerbo's OKW has now called in the Sturmpanther headquarters. He is finishing setting up, and he's in a very good position here. This wall does not prevent a lot of shots from coming in, but it will get at least one or two at the right time. It's a very strong fire point to fall back upon. Unfortunately, it looks like his troops are going to get carved up in the meantime. This MG34 is getting pushed away. This Zis gun's sliding forward again as his AA half-track's going to start lining up on these Maxims. Is he barely out of range yet? He might be still barely out of range, and that's just unfortunate. Nope, never mind, there it is. There's this gun. Turn around, my friend. Shotzi. Shootzi over there. So Maxim's going to come under fire, but his brother Maxim over here to the east, it's going to be the Maxim brothers, not the Karamazovs, it's the Maxims instead. Suppressing the Sturmpanthers, although one of these squads is going to find itself outflanked in just a second here. Now, where's that Zis gun? Is the Zis gun firing at all? No, it is not. And I have to admit, I'm a little concerned for the Maxims in the later part of this game, actually even all the Soviet infantry in the later part of this game. There are just so many mines on the field. One, two, there are a couple others over here to the west as well. Is that one still over here down? Nope, I guess it got blown up. You know, let's say it got utilized effectively. First squad of Obersoldaten comes onto the field, but those guys are still going to be underpowered against the Guards' brethren. And a T-70, surprisingly enough, is coming out. Tank Heavy Battalion has been called in. Not sure if I necessarily agree with the T-70. I mean, 13 minutes in, yes, you are in control of the map for the time being, but it just doesn't seem to be the most effective use of your fuel. I would just tech up immediately to the next rank and go for a nice big T-34. That's my assessment. Combat engineers run right smack dab into the face of that MG34, do get pushed back, but it seems now that the machine gun's just going to duel from a long distance here. Over here in the northwest, we're going to see the Obers have gotten their LMGs. No, not LMGs. What are things called? Yes, no, it's yeah. Well, it is an LMG technically, but MG34. That silhouette in the gun always looks so strange to me. And now that the T-70 is coming onto the map, it seems Nerbo has called it in almost presciently. He's going to need himself a Raketten. And a Raketten will be coming onto the field. And T-70 it's going to slide up, though. Will he be able to pick up the MG? Yeah, almost all the models down. One more round. Yep, there he goes. Question really is, can he back away from any prospective Panzerfausts? That's an important thing. Because Nerbo can definitely afford them if he wants to. AA half-track, though, is going to slide forward very bravely. Not so intelligently, though, as you can see right there. Take off the interface for a second. And just in time to see the AA half-track actually slide away and the Sturmpanther headquarters actually saving the AA half-track. Worth noting in the meantime, the one squad of combat engineers has gone down. Forgive me for missing that one there, folks. But I guess that means that T-70 needs to back away and get himself repaired. No, he's going to get taken down. Where did he go down? How did he go down? Faust, perhaps? Yep, it was a Faust. The Faust has brought him to his knees. That tank fist. Meantime, we're going to see that the Verketten is on the field. He's not being seen right now, though, because of his super sneaky duck and cover abilities. Obersoldaten that happened on the field have been pushed back quite severely. Leaving, again, what's going to be a trip cap, it looks like, for the Soviets as soon as they take and push back this Volkskrans squad, which will happen soon enough, mind you. There we go. Also, this would be worth noting that there is himself a little bit of a explosive trap. So they get pushed off. Those the Germans will not be around to really appreciate it. Is this gun, again, still continue to get a lot of veterancy, just blowing holes into the AA half-track. And now with an Su-76 on the field, it is curious to me, very curious indeed, that we're not going to see any sort of later teching happening here. Instead, Sturmpanther is going for a 120mm mortar. Not entirely sure why, unless he's looking to siege down this puppy right here. Definitely a good idea. I mean, it's definitely worthwhile. I'm just not sure that's the 100% the most necessary thing right now. In my mind, it'd be better worth injecting a lot more into your armored spear tip, so to speak. Now, well, all these Germans sliding over here to the west. Verketten's not there, but what is there? Oh, jeez. The Su-76 has run right smack dab into the Verketten. Dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Okay, so Sturmpanther's got all of his call-ins, though, for his commander. He can mark vehicles to do more damage. But what he's not doing is he's not taking care of this big German push over here. This represents pretty much all of the German strength on the field. Oh, not all of it. You know, it's a good 60-70% of it. Although he controls 2/3 of the VPs, and he's definitely still draining by quite a bit. One is he's not repairing his Su-76 at all, which is a giant stupid mistake right there. And yes, he's going after that Sturmpanther headquarters. I guess I can't be too mad or too evil to him. I mean, he's in really, really great shape overall. And I guess Nerbo right now is kind of up against it. He really should be calling in himself a nice Panther or something like that soon. Even putting a Jagdpanzer in right about now would be a good idea. As of right now, he's not in a good spot. AA half-track's going to slide forward again, trying to put and pick on these guards as much as possible. But it appears he's just barely out of line of sight. Guards over here to the west do push back one Volkskrans squad, get pushed back in turn. And somehow magically do not get any line of sight on them, even though they're firing rounds into this brush. Maybe he's trying to do some pruning with the anti-aircraft gun. I'm not sure if this is the best opportunity here. You know, the Sturmpanther headquarters is almost down. We'll take a look in the lower right-hand corner right now. You see it is down to about, what, 15% health? Maybe? Mortar just continues to launch rounds at it. And oh dear God, this gun's going to get it. This gun has blown it apart too, so Nerbo is, well, he's certainly against it, folks. What can he do to call in? What can he bring in? Sturmtiga would be a good idea. He can last another victory point or two, or commander point, excuse me. Breakthrough, maybe not the best idea to wait for the Jagdtiga. And special operations, a Panther command tank would be fun, but I'm not sure that's a great idea at this point either. Looking at veterancy as well, we're seeing that all those, the maximum spam is starting to pay off. Each of those guys have 2 stars of veterancy. For the Germans, it is only just 2 squads that have veterancy really beyond just the initial positioning there. And oh dear God, this Su-76 is going to run afoul. There's shoe mines everywhere. But he oh my gosh, he does a whole goal thing. Guys, it is good. Never mind, he runs into another one. And he's going to go down. And the combat engineers are probably going to go down as well.
We are suffering vehicle losses.
So as brilliant as that was, right smack dab into a, yeah, amusing right there. And in fact, it's going to be Elite Armored Doctrine, and there's that Sturmtiga. And with the Sturmtiga on the map, would that mean that Sturmpanther's troops are going to get forced back severely? I don't know, but the Su-76 is not going to be enough to force it away, I can tell you that much. Mortar is repositioning to put fire onto these garrisons. But if I were him, I'd be peeing my pants the second I see that giant tank coming out here. Over here to the west, we are going to see that these guards are going to try to push back these Obersoldaten, but the MG-34s are going to do a fair amount of fire here. And indeed, oh my gosh, we're taking fire over here. Maxim's going to be able to lock down one of these squads of Volkskrans. But then the Sturmpanther says, "Hi. Speak softly, but carry a big rocket." So one of those very, very good
The enemy is encroaching.
Maxims is already gone, but it's 218 to 332, and what had been a very dominant performance by the Germans early on has faded into a much more, how do I put this delicately, not a particularly sterling performance in the later game so far. So 215, 332, looks like it's going to be not even a trade out of what you call it here, not even a trade out of VPs. Looks like it's just going to be a decaf on the Germans. And it's going to be another trip cap for the Soviets. That's even just, it's shocking me that Sturmpanther is able to come back with this. He was kind of really much up against it for quite a bit of time here. Su-76 unfortunately is going to show its side profile shot, let's say, to the Raketenwerfer, if that Raketenwerfer even realizes it.
Is reduced. Su-76 assault guns.
And Sturmpanther is just going to throw all of his eggs into a Su-76 basket. Let's neglect the fact that if one round comes in, that thing is going to destroy, not damage, destroy two Su-76s. That thing is still huge. Again, reminder, guys, 38 centimeter rocket. 38 centimeters. 38 centimeters. That's even bigger than what you're... Never mind, I can't say that. I can't say that on stream. You know, I value myself as staying moderately clean with what I say. I can't say what I was going to say just now. I'm sorry, folks. Su-76 in the meantime, they're lining up over here and they say, hey, look, the Sturmpanther is coming after us. But these Sturmpanthers are not upgrading at all with any kind of anti-tank weaponry, which is probably the only thing that's keeping these Su-76s into this game. Oh no, but the Sturmpanthers are going right on top of that. Blow it! Blow it now! No, never mind, it's not going to happen. They are not going to survive very well, though. Yep, they're going to fall back through a ton of fire here. And while another Maxim crew, at least anyway, has gone down, this is still there. It's still a 2-to-1 cap. And frankly, these Maxims continue to be a giant pain in the posterior of the Germans. AA half-track backs over here to the east, looking to push away this Maxim that's just giving his guys so much of a hard time here. And I don't think this guy has any kind of way to really... Nope, he doesn't. He's got to just sprint, basically. To the south, we're going to see these Obersoldaten are shifting forward. It's going to be able to take one of these strategic points to kind of bunker up. Not bunker up. What's the term I'm looking for here? Not bunker at all, in fact. To isolate a lot of the Soviet supplies here. And we're going to see a gift of at least one of these Su-76s, I imagine. The second Raketen is out in the field. So between that and the Sturmtiga, yeah, big problems there, pups. Big problems. It's still a trip cap, though. 144 to 332. Guards are getting forced back in the face of all that fire and flame. They can't carry on at that point. And I'm kind of shocked that this gun is firing ineffectually at these Raketenwerfers. Use your rounds that are appropriate. This is not appropriate, guys. Oy vey. Meantime, rounds are going to come out, not really complete necessarily from this 120 mil. Where's he firing at, though? He's firing at the Raketenwerfer? No, he's not. He's trying to put some fire down on top of the Raketen, and missing just because he can't see diddly squat out of it. Maxim, in the meantime, is going to put him under fire, and if you can take out one model, that's going to be more than enough. But that Sturmtiger coming up is quite an issue. So the question is really, what happens more quickly? My guess is that rocket comes in and takes out the squad. Yep, and there they go. There goes the house as well, so the resale value is through the floor on that one. Sturmtiger just kind of laughs and says, you know, 2 rounds of taking out 2 machine guns. Ha! 15 infantry kills already. It has gone back into a German favor, though. A 2-to-1 cap in favor of those OKW player. 1919 to 328, 24-30 into this game. And he could be forgiven for thinking that things were all coming up Millhouse for the Germans, but they're just not. It's only been a recent shift, not so much in priorities, but a recent shift that could allow the big bad OKW to blow down the house of the Soviets here. And indeed, this Raketenwerfer, if they're any less careful, they're going to get pinged off by that mortar, which just calmly is just lofting rounds like crazy. Now, I do believe that's in fact a T-3485 coming out. Remembering, of course, that, excuse me, the guard motor coordination tactics do give them that much more powerful, the upgunned anti-tank strength of the T-34. Max, in the meantime, is going to set up on these Obosoldaten and going to push them back, at least suppress them if nothing else. Quick suppression.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
And shockingly, these Sturmpios are just going to calmly take away this map, this point. Never mind, finally backing away. Okay, there we go. Yep, T-3485 is coming out onto the map. But where is the Sturmtiga? It's reloaded. Dude, it's ready to go, too. That Zis gun is going to buy it. He's going to take it out. There's nothing he's going to do about it. He's going to go 3, 2, 1, launch. Kaboom. There he goes. He goes down. And if he wants to, he can just... Yep, he pings off the Zis gun. So now all that is left is a couple of Su-76s, which are outgunned completely. Of course, Nerbo pays for his inattention over here to the west. He loses his Obosoldaten squad that were outgunned rather severely, too. And dropping him down to just 3 squads of mainline infantry. T-3485 is slotting into the fray, though, announcing his presence with a nice round, taking out 2 troops, 2 of those Volksgrens. And as people, Grenadiers, just are forced to back away. Anti-air half-track, though, says, hey, I got this. Oh, wait, no, I don't, as the Su-76s announce themselves with a brutal, brutal shot. Now, one of these Su-76s will go down. Destroyed engine, he is hammered quite severely here. Question is, will he go and take out his own vehicle to prevent it from getting recrewed? I would say that's a good idea, but that's me. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. No, no, no. Instead, it looks like it's going to become a German vehicle. Never mind, there it goes. Just barely before it happens. Alright, 120mm mortar just continues to lay down the smackdown. There's only 1 machine gun left after that Sturmtiga has come up and just lofted a couple of rounds. Just happening like crazy. This T-3485 is taking rounds instead from the eastern side from this surviving Raketwerfer. I am shocked that there's not been a circle strafe happening from Sturmpanther. So he seems very content to let his vehicles getting hammered, or rather get hammered, by pretty much anything that wants to shoot at it. So that's unfortunate right there. 105 to 313, it is still going to be a Soviet drain on German attention spans. Only a couple minutes left if current drains are not mitigated.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Sturmtiga slides forward, he's like, okay, I'm going to take a round at that Su-76. But now that the T-34 is there, honestly, I would sack my T-34 any day of the week and twice on Thursdays. I don't know why, I just don't like Thursdays. To take out that Sturmtiga. But instead, he allows his Su-76 to go down. So, perfect timing. Rush forward. Take it out. Charge. Charge, my friend. It screams a kill. But it seems Sturmpanther is a little bit afraid. He's a little bit scared. And because he's a little bit scared, he's going to allow himself to just take out a machine gun instead, it looks like. Yep, and there it goes. Sturmpanther is going to run right smack dab into these combat engineers that have for some reason been able to survive this entire game, but still don't have full veterancy. They're just kind of like laughing and joking over here. They will be able to shake and bake most of those Sturmpanther out of the running. And yeah, intelligently those guards back away before they find themselves destroyed
We are losing territory.
by the short-range STGs. Now, is that a captured Raketten? Yes, it is. I didn't even see that captured Raketten. I didn't even notice that, so that got picked up. But it's looking like it's going to be a trip cap for the Germans, or at least 2 to nothing, fairly consistently. I can fairly safely say that one. But the second that he gets this particular cap, there's still going to be another 5 or 10 minutes before the Soviets even have to worry about anything. And in that time, another T-34 can get called in. And really right now, the only thing keeping Nerbo in this game is that Sturmpanther. Sturmtiga. Sturmpanther is his enemy. So, you know, maybe Sturmpanther is kind of keeping him in the game at the moment. But the second that we see that Studley T-3485 come out, that should be more than enough to really take on the Sturmtiga. 2 of them, by the way, as well as the Rakettenwerfer. As well as even... Oh, geez, never mind. Here comes a round. It's going to come down range, and it's going to take out that mortar. Run, ship! Never mind, there goes the motor. That was just sad. Super sad. Not even Super Saiyan, just super sad. Not Super Saiyan, that is super sad. Guards are rushing forward. They're trying to take out the Sturmpanther, and as is this T-3485, finally he's charging into the fray. I don't think the Raketans are going to be enough to do enough damage. And even though there's going to be Fausts galore, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Good gosh. He can keep up with the Sturmpanther pretty easily. Sturmtiga, good gosh, I can keep saying it. The Sturm Big Cat will probably go down. This is so super close. What is going to happen? One more round. Oh, just barely missing. So this guy is still alive. He is up and running. The marked vehicle is out. But now this Sturmtiga is going right with its rear to these guards, and the guards are not going to miss an opportunity here. The PTRSs can't do a whole lot, but firing at the rear armor will do pretty well. You can see right now, taking away 5% health. One more round from that super, super slow T-3485, and there goes the Sturmtiga. He gets rocked and sucked, and he is down 55 to 271. In the meantime, the Soviets have taken control again of 2-1 cap, and will decap the Germans pretty quickly. We do see that this squad over here it was a cap squad of something. I don't even know what, but all that's left is a couple of drumsticks and a wing or two.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
I don't know that's going to go too well for the Germans and the rest of this map. 31-45 into the game, 45 to 271 the score. And the Germans are just charging forwards. They don't really have a whole lot of other options here. They have the Raketen, which has done a fair amount of work, mind you, but they just have one Raketen and Fausts. A couple of very, very vetted up squads of Volksgrens and have taken... No, they haven't taken them out. They took out the combat engineer section. But no, they managed to back away in time. But even a couple of squads of Volksgrens are not going to be enough to handle this, especially when your support weapons are going to get hammered by another T-3485 that's been buffed in recent patches. So, yeah, half the vetted up squads go down there. The guards are going to toss themselves a grenade on top of... No, they're not. I thought they were going to toss a grenade on the Raketenwerfer. I actually kind of wonder... Oh, no, never mind. With that 360 flak emplacement, it's been kind of interesting to see the guards infiltrate, let's say, and throw down on top of
The enemy is down to 20.
the Raketenwerfer, but that's not going to be a good plan. And what could have been another Sturmtiga being called in immediately by Nerbo, it doesn't look like it's going to happen at all. He could have called in a long time ago. And indeed, he's just trying to reinforce all of his troops in the vain hope he can somehow get out and decap something. But Sturmpanther, after going down a very, very hefty early lead, given over to the Germans, he is coming back. He's come out with a fury, let me tell you. And it looks like he's going to cap the rest of this one out. 17 to 271. These guards are going to get hurt pretty severely here, but Maxims still do lock down the center part of the field. And with one T-3485 on the fray and the other one returning back to it, even though a Raketenwerfer is not going to be enough to take these guys both out. And yeah, that's going to be it, folks. That's going to be all she wrote. One more bit of announcements before I call it quits in this particular video. We do know that Civilization 6 comes out in the next couple of weeks. It is my intent to give you guys some of that as well. I know Quill18's been putting out some videos and playing through his own ideas of how the game's supposed to be run, but let me put some of that out myself. But in the meantime, folks, that's going to be it for me on this video. This is Con Ulrich signing off. You all have a great day. Take it easy.